one of the things that you will find very often in horror is, again, we didn't have this in Outlast, but in Alien Isolation, and especially in Resident Evil, this is like a hallmark of Resident Evil, is that like you'll have like a gun and you'll have like 3 bullets, something like that. So it's like, if you're having to defend yourself very often, you're gonna die at some point in the future because you've used all your bullets now, type thing.
Yeah, no, that's quite a cool. I like having to be very selective with how you use your tools in games. Yes. Sometimes it's. I mean, I do and I don't. Like when
it's a cool mechanic, but it's also annoying when you're playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I play, I quite like Days Gone for the gameplay specifically, and there's a sort of tipping point you can get to in that game. It comes along quite fast as well, where you can just like stock up with such a powerful arsenal, so many guns, so much ammo and all that stuff that like really no one's a match for you, because like you're not going to run out of ammo. You've got so many guns to swap to, and you can just like after the firefight go and buy some more ammo, if I remember correctly, at a camp or something. And so that can be, I mean, I think complaints I've heard about that style of game, and particularly that game, is that it's kind of marketed as a survival game, and it doesn't really feel like one because you're so resource rich, and you can you don't, other than looking for petrol and stuff to keep your bike topped up. And this isn't just specific to Days Gone. It could expand to other games of that style as well. But yeah, they give you too much power. Basically, you don't feel like you're vulnerable enough, and don't have to like use your sort of wits enough to try and survive.
Yeah, I mean that's not an uncommon criticism of like big open world RPGs, especially. And I mean we were speaking again, I think it was yesterday, about. So I'm not a huge fan of a lot of open world RPGs. We were speaking about The Witcher 3, which I think is a very good game, but doesn't really do anything for me. Like, one of the other things with that is like in that game, I reached a point where I had really good armor, really good swords. I had like more gold than you could possibly ever have, and it's just like, it's not very Witchery. Being this rich and having all this stuff, and it's not specifically a criticism of that game, but it is something you find a lot in like open world RPGs, because obviously, you could spend like 50 hours not doing missions and just going around and grinding and getting loot and getting experience and etc.